Oi oi, welcome back fam. This time we got our purple wonder boy Dazzle. For the longest time, Dazzle in my opinion has struggled compared to other supports. The reason for this is simply he is one of the least disable oriented supports in the entire game. So if we click on the support tab here, we can see that we got a better slow, stun, better slow, stun, root, better slow, silence, stun. You get the point. So yeah, the guy's flawed as a support from the start. But he's got a slow though, but it's only 20% of last rank. But you can increase it with his level 25 Dazzle.
What? Man, come on! Like
Picking Dazzle honestly felt a little griefy, not gonna lie. But for what he lacks in disable, he makes up for someone else. So what if I told you Dazzle is now the best healer in the game? Move over, Oracle. Dazzle got the crown now.
Fuck it is.
Alrighty, boys and girls, take a seat and let's run over some new shinies that turn Dazzle all the way up to 11. First off, talent changes. So in the Dawnbreaker patch, Purple Panties here got some incredible buffs to level 15. You now have the options between 60 attack speed and over 200 heal after Grave. Core Dazzle took some hits recently, but the attack speed and bonus damage level 10, paired alongside the minus armor, great int gain, and a banging attack animation. I mean, take a look at that attack animation. I don't know what he's slinging out of that stuff, but he's a natural. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is he can chunk real hard now, and if you get some disables on your team, you can really dunk on them good. So the attack speed is nice, but we came for the new kid on the block. Extra heal on Grave End. This talent is so good it had to get nerfed a few days after release. Why is it so good? Well, it's simple. More healing. It's a focus mech and more survivability on an already amazing ability. Shallow Grave. Well, without it, you kinda have to time the Grave End and shoot him with some healing in order to get some maximum value out of your heals and prolong their survival. With the talent, however, well, we just wait for the Grave End and pew pew! Welcome back to the land of the living, amigo.
Oh no! Oh, it's disaster! Wait, did I not get the jewel?
hopefully it will have been worth the wait. Thanks, and have fun.
There were some item changes that affected Dazzle, mainly like Necrobook being removed. Dazzle was one of the best Necrobook carriers since he had constant uptime with his cooldown reduction, making him yoink mad cash money around the map. It's only really affected core Dazzle, but this build still covers both support and core roles. So each game I'm going a similar build. Midas into Holy Locket, into Mech, into Axe in order to achieve supreme healing, yes! Midas is optional of course. I don't really want my position 5 Dazzle to be rushing on Midas, to be completely honest. However, if you have been having a dope ass lane with some extra cash money, then Midas is looking pretty juicy. The cooldown reduction on that thing goes from 666, woo, all the way up to 45 seconds at last rank of bad juju. You can get some hella value out of this one and can stay in decent net worth even without the help of a Necrobook. And then there's the big one, Holy Locket. Wow, what an item, right lads? You seeing this shit?
Watch this. Bang!
It's a wonderful item to use now, especially on Dazzle, but I believe that this item could be actually an alternative to Glimmer Cape or 4-star. The only buff it received, a huge buff mind you, is that it now regenerates a charge every 10 seconds. Unfortunately, it's unaffected by cooldown reduction, but this thing basically gives you 20 stacks every fight, and 20 stacks is a 400 heal. That is bonkers! It's like a super focused mech, and it gives you 300 mana if needed. The stats give you 300 HP, also, it can be disassembled from Arcane Boots in order to drop it down to a measly 1600 gold. So you can get it real early as a support who skips the Midas part. Oh, and of course it increases healing output, including the banging new Grave Talent. Why is it pronounced mechanism when there's no I anyway? Shouldn't it be like mechanism? Anyway, mechanism is a pretty self-explanatory here. It's dope on Dazzle. Reason being is he can spam it more often than most, and he has a mana pool to support that ridiculous mana cost it has.
Only 100.
Oh wait, it got halved in 7.29. Well, fancy that! I didn't even realise, that's a lot of mana, people. That now allows you to roll with mech all the way to the late game. I mean, just saying, you could probably pick this item up on an offlaner nowadays. It's looking mighty tasty. And you can still build it into Greaves on Dazzle if you want. It does drop it down to 20 seconds of last rank of bad juju, wowee. But to finish the build, we need to implement the use of his Aghanims, the Omega healing, wave destroying monster. The Aghanims upgrade is... okay. It's alright. It's the last in the build because it's expensive, it's rather situational, and most importantly, it's kinda boring. So what the axe does is it bumps up Shadow Wave's heal and damage by 100, and every ally affected by it receives a basic dispel. Pretty cool.
This is a sticker, give me all your money, understandable. Have a nice day.
With Holy Locket, the 4-second cooldown Shadow Wave becomes a 320 HP heal. God damn! But not only that, the Dispel can be great in the right situation. I wish I'd downloaded the replay, but I was against a bounty hunter one game, and I made his game a misery, because every time he tracked someone, I just went BLAM! And smacked the track right out of them. So if you get a Dispel value hero like Willow or Bounty, or you got an Illusion hero on your team, it's a pretty good axe, and you could pick it up earlier. Otherwise, just consider leaving it until later. I like to think this build is a physical damaged Necrophos, but, you know, without the weird child molester voice. But along with the durability, you output a hell of a lot more heal than Necro, and paired with the damage talent at level 10, you can really rock mid game for your team. Because of this, I've actually taken a mid and off lane with varying success, usually in the positive variety. Position 4 and 5 is the preferred role, since even without a Midas you can achieve a mech and a Holy Locket rather quickly, since they're not expensive items, and you become hella tanky for support. Throw a 4-staff in the mix and wham! You're gonna be saving people left, right and centre. And finally, I just wanted to sum up the pros and cons of this Dazzle just to wrap things up. So firstly, and obviously, his heal is phenomenal, being on par with False Promise from Oracle, but more spammable. A Shallow Grave talent, mech, max locket and a single Shadow Wave is 1400 HP. Secondly, your mid game is strong. I've had many a game where I run a core Dazzle with Holy Locket and mech at 20 minutes and nobody can touch me. At that point, you can just run with your team and take objectives. Your AoE healing is very strong at that point in the game, so you can just fight into teamfight ultimates. And also, given the damage talents at 10 and 15, you can transition into a more damaged build if your team needs it, or you're being countered by an AA or a Pudge with Axe. But the downsides are equally weighted. So your heals are godlike, but your damage ain't so much. You can ride off the damage talent up until late game, but once it's 40 minutes, well, your farts are gonna deal more damage.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
Heroes are gonna start racking up armor, and your damage tool, Poison Touch, is gonna start dealing piss poor damage and act as a measly 20% slow, up until it gets purged by the BKB that they just slammed into your face. I've had plenty of games where I have just ridden off the team's damage as an offlane Dazzle, but if your carry ain't doing too well, then you're probably just gonna lose after 40 minutes. But if you're support, well then it's your team's fault and you did nothing wrong. So that's the Dazzle I've been playing this patch. It's an effective build that isn't too expensive, sitting between 8 to 10k, and it can be played in a multitude of roles. You can skip Midas and Axe if needed, since the Holy Locket and Mech are just the real MVPs of this build. Just bear in mind that Dazzle can lack damage and disable, so if you can work around this with your team, well then you shouldn't have any issues yoinking some wins. Alright, this has been fun, but I'm out of here. Catch you next time, fam. See ya!
You is